Welcome to the Cross Contour Sketchbook Skill Card. Contour is a type of line that we use in art, and we're going to be doing something called cross contour, which is going to help us to show 3D shapes. Once you get the hang of this skill, you can draw more complicated subjects like portraits or fabric or more complicated objects. It just simply helps us to show dimension. It's almost like the latitude and longitude lines of a globe. So you can see I have a sphere, cylinder, and cone here. And our goal for side one is to copy what we see. So we're going to be creating a sphere, cylinder, and cone. Here is a real life example of the cross contour line. I have a sphere here and I'm tracing around the surface of the sphere with a contour line. And as you can see, it's going to start to curve. That curve is how we can show dimension in our drawings. The curve is going around the surface of the sphere. It's the curve of the line that helps us to show form. So I'll do it with a cylinder as well. We can see with the cylinder, when we travel our lines vertically, there's no curve because the sides are straight. But when I turn it and start to trace over the round edge, you will see these lines are going to start to look round. They're going to curve. And again, that little curve, that's what helps us to get dimension. And same thing with the cone. The rounded surface is going to look curved and the straight edges will look straight. So this is just a real life example so you can see why those lines make sense to help us show the curvature of the surface of each object. Now we're gonna draw this and then we're going to apply it to a more complicated object. So part one of this card says to just simply copy the circle or the sphere, the cylinder, and the cone. So I'm drawing a circle here and I'm literally just copying those curved lines. That curve is what helps us to show the dimension. So you can look either at my actual sphere in this video and draw what you see, or you can look at the example on the card. Same thing with the cylinder. Take note though that the top of the cylinder is not going to be represented with a circle. It's going to be more of an oval. Because when we draw this in perspective, it's not a perfect circle, it's kind of squished. And then, of course, the vertical lines on the side. And the bottom line, that curve is going to echo the curve of your top oval. And then I will go ahead and draw those cross contour lines. All right, and then here's the cone. We're gonna start out with a triangular shape, but again, the bottom part of that is curved, similar to the cylinder. And I'm thinking about the direction and the curvature of the lines that I see. The vertical lines will be straight, and the horizontal lines around the surface of the edge is going to be curved. Now I've done the first part of practicing these basic forms. Now let's apply this to something that is slightly more complicated. You can use really any object for this. I chose to use this beaker or vase because I thought it was a really great example of the sphere and the cylinder. You can see there is both a sphere and a cylinder on this object. When you choose your object, you're going to think about what kinds of 3D shapes are you seeing. Then you're going to apply the skill that we just did. I actually drew these lines on the object so that you can see it. I'm going to begin with that cylinder technique, starting with the curve or the oval of the top that I can see on my object, those straight lines on the side, and then the rounded curved lines of the sphere, the bottom part of this. Once I have the basic shape, now I can go back in and really just copy those contour lines I see, noticing where they curve and turn out, where they're actually going straight. And I will continue using this with, again, my knowledge of the sphere and the cylinder that I just practiced. You can see when I go to create my horizontal lines, they are very much curved because the entire object is curved. So when you do this skill card, you can begin with the sphere, cylinder, and cone. And then when you feel confident, you can go ahead and select another object, put it in front of you, and think about the basic shapes and draw what you see.